Yeah. Siege. Riley. Taz. Yeah. Set me free and give me death, there ain't no other choices. When I lay down to go to sleep, I keep on hearing voices. Little whispers in my head, man, is you fake or loyal? Why no water, death is sign of baby, pick your poison. These little demons living underneath my bed, creeping. Know the real, monster lives above them all, sleeping. That subtle breathing in your closet every single evening. Thought you never see me again, looks can be deceiving. When they hear the sound of the drum, they'll be saying, oh Lord, here they come. Yeah, here we come.
What's going on, Saints fans? That's an offensive win. 34-0 is what the Saints are able to exit Foxborough with a huge win over. Look, it's no secret. The Saints do well historically against Bill Belichick. The Saints did really well against Mac Jones last time that, he faced off against that Saints defense. I mean, off the gate, look, underdog fantasy, whatever betting platform you use, I've been telling you all week, man, take Mac Jones over half a pick. He's throwing at least one. He ended up throwing two. I'm not really sure I'd blame him for either one, but regardless, he looked awful. The Saints defense picked him apart along with the rest of that Patriots offense to hold not just a shutout, but a huge shutout, giving Bill Belichick his largest marginal home loss ever, and he's just now coming off his biggest marginal loss ever, period, right? Not a good month if you're a Patriots fan, not a good month if you are, investing in Bill Belichick beyond, this year and next, right? So, I don't care, though. The Saints, I don't care about who is out. I'm not worried about the injuries. I understand there were some key players out for the Patriots defense. The Patriots already have one of the worst defenses in the league. And then after this week, I think that's even more cemented. But I don't care. I don't care. The offense showed life. The Saints offense showed life. Derek Carr missed a few big throws throughout the game, especially early on. But overall, he played a phenomenal game. I just wish he would stop. He throws a lot of 50-50 balls. That's why he loves tight ends so much. But outside of that, the play calling was a little bit better. Still not fantastic. I think there were still a lot of plays where, we're on the 30-yard line or we're sniffing the red zone. And I feel like, the offense came out trying to sling it deep, trying to go for straight end zone shots. And that's something I really wish the Saints would get away from. And, maybe I'm just sour, but 34-0. 34-0, I'm still not sold on Pete Carmichael. We need to see more. I think the Patriots, like I said, had a lot of key defensive pieces missing. In terms of play calling, I still got to see more. He held it out. I got to give props where they're due, like 34-0, still a win, so I got to give him props. But the true props got to go to the rest of the offense. Receivers are dropping passes early on. They were able to keep their head in the game. Alvin Kamara looked great. Kendre Miller looked great. Let's go through the stats, though. I mean, I can talk about how they look great. They look great, but let's put it to paper. 22 carries for Kamara today. Extremely impressive. I can't think of the last time Kamara had 22 carries. 22 carries for Kamara. 80 yards, 3.6 yards a carry. Really wish we would have had Kamara a little bit more. So 22 carries to 11. I'm really not worried about it because it was a game where the Saints stayed ahead 34-0 the whole time. So it makes sense that Kamara had more carries than normal. You know how I am, though. How I feel about Kamara is less is more with Kamara. You necessarily don't want to see him. He's not a 3-down back, right? You don't want to see him in between the tackles. You don't need to see him on inside zones. You don't want to see him on power zone run plays, right? If the opportunity is right, awesome. Kamara does best whenever you throw him the ball. He's got some open space. He's got some green field ahead of him. And you have him make a play. Kendre Miller looked phenomenal, 3.4 yards a carry. He's averaged well over 3 yards a carry every single week, right? The last 3 weeks he has. Taysom Hill coming in with 3 carries for 19 yards and 6.3 averaging 6.3 yards a carry. I wanted to see more Taysom Hill in the second half. I told y'all on my halftime report, the Saints are still undefeated when Taysom carries the ball at least 9 times. Jordan Love and the Packers were able to come back on the Saints right after they were down 17-0. I understand Derek Carr went down, but hey, look, I don't think they used Taysom enough in that game. I don't think they pounded the rock enough in that game. I don't think they were aggressive enough. You can run the ball and still be aggressive, right? You set up play action and the right opportunities. And today I think they did that, which is where my kudos is going to go out to Pete Carmichael. I think they were able to really do that. Derek Carr finishing, with 18 for 26. 183 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Nothing sexy, but he took care of the football. 18 for 26. There was a couple of those that got away. I think there was only one that could have been picked or was even in harm's way, honestly. Honestly, I don't think there was one. I have to go back and look. Some great footballs thrown by Derek Carr. There was just a few, I think, that got away. And if you're starting to play, look, whenever you start playing some of these offensive powerhouses, even whenever you play the Texans, you saw the type of show out they did against the Falcons today, right? Like they putting in work. And look, you can't miss plays like that, but I can't pick him apart too much. 34-0, huge win. You just want to see Derek Carr delivering a few more of those plays where he has time. I mean, going into this week, he was ranked 10th in time in the pocket, right? So out of 32 quarterbacks, he's getting the 10th most time in the pocket among starters in the league. So he's getting time in the pocket. That offensive line is coming together. You're seeing more tight end incorporation. You're seeing Tony Jones out there, Kendre Miller out there. You're seeing extra help. When it comes to blocking, it's not like they had a super lethal pass rush out there that they were dealing with the Patriots. Historically, a lot worse. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I'm still in a Discord here. Oh, goodness. There it goes. There it goes. Overall, though, I think it was a phenomenal game. Defense came out here shining, baby, against the Patriots. Held Mac Jones for 12 for 22. 12 completions. That Saints defense held Mac Jones to 12 completions. That we're talking about a game where the Patriots were down 34-0. 7-0 first quarter. But going into halftime, it was 24-0 if y'all remember back. Then coming straight out 24-0 pretty quickly. Mac Jones still 12 completions, 22 attempts. What does that mean? That means the pressure is getting there. Granderson had a huge step up with that defense. 2.5 sacks week 1. He's been kind of quiet. Then he shines. And then Cameron Jordan getting his first sack of the season. Where is it at? He gave him a half a sack. But where we at? Where is Granderson with 4 tackles, 3 of those being a solo tackle and a sack? That puts him at 3.5 or 4 sacks total in the season. I mean, huge statement made by Granderson today. I think Brian Persee made a couple of key plays defensively. Let's see if he's on the stat charts. I don't see him, but he had a presence, and I think that's exactly why they brought in Brian Persee. Defensive tackle, they don't get a lot of love, right? You can ask Warren Sapp, but it's about being a presence, and I think he was that today. I mean, what was the rushing yards looking like for the Patriots? 8 rushes for, we'll look at team stats. Let's see the team stats. Here, I'll pull it out. Let's see. Here, let me see. 1 second, y'all. I got you. Gotcha. Look at that. Making it happen on the live. Walk in fast, and we're scoring now. No. Look at them stats. Yeah, 304 yards offensively from the Saints. That's huge. But we focus on the defense right now, and we're talking about 156 total yards, 111 passing with 12 completions. They only gave up 12 completions. That's insane. That's legendary status in terms of how good this defense is, how incredible this Saints defense is. This is unreal, man. Yards per play, 3.1 yards. Obviously not too big of a stat, but still, 8 punts, man. 8 punts. Multiple sacks. That Saints defense locked down. Man, look great. Michael Thomas with 4 receptions for 65 yards receiving. Kendre Miller with 53 yards receiving. So Kendre Miller coming through with how many total yards here? Let's see. So, I mean, God, that's huge for Kendre Miller. You're talking about 75-plus yards. Damn near 100 total yards for Kendre Miller today. That's big time for the rookie out of TCU. Michael Thomas, 4 receptions. Yep, Rashid Shaheed, 2 receptions for 28 yards. And then, of course, here he is, Chris Olave. Here's my plea for Chris Olave, okay? He's gone off. I think he started out hot. He had his foot immediately on the gas as soon as the season started. I think really the first couple of weeks, the only real momentum you saw was from that receiver core and Taysom Hill, of course, when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. And I think, that Packers loss and that Bucks performance, especially in the first half, oh my God. I mean, the bad luck. I mean, the first half, they got a few things going against the Bucks. They had a few slips, a few slides, a couple drop balls, right? Just things didn't go their way, and then total complete shutdown in the second half against that Bucks defense. You come in this week, Really wanted to see Chris Olave shine a little bit more, especially more than 2 receptions. He had a couple of drops, I think, early in the game. Neither here nor there about who should have made that play. Blame, I guess, could really fall on either quarterback or the receiver on that one, but I still think Derek Carr threw the ball a little bit too high. Chris Olave was in stride running a route. He was wide open. I think Derek Carr's going to be a little bit more patient on that play, but, or deliver it sooner, right? I just feel like his timing was off right there. But I feel like Chris Olave ran a clean route. It just sucks. The ball was too high. And there was a couple others that got away from him. I think there was one that he just dropped. He had that big play towards the end of the game where he had 1 foot in and he stepped out. Still a beautiful catch. So, I'm not too concerned about Chris Olave. I know I'm kind of seeing people talk about him in the comment sections, but look, Chris Olave was phenomenal. Last year, and then this season he started out hot. Couple tough games. I think really the only concern I've had this year's last week. I wasn't even super concerned. I just think a few things didn't go his way. The Saints got out to a huge lead early, and, they kind of ran the ball. You're talking about 22, let's see here, 32, 33, 37 carries. 37 carries if you count quarterback rushes, over 40 rushing attempts from the Saints. So, I mean, you look at that, kind of makes sense. But what a W. That's absolutely huge. That's absolutely huge. It gives me a lot of optimism pushing towards the rest of the season. I said it heading into this week. Look, we need to see 24 plus, 15.5 points per game. When's the last time you saw something like that for a Saints offense? You just don't see it. The Saints go from 30 to 20 to 17.7 to 15.5. They needed to have a big offensive performance today. I mean, I couldn't imagine what it would have been like if the Saints came through here and didn't at least touch 20. I can't, that would have been nuts. 5 straight weeks. It'd have been really bad. It'd have been disastrous. So thank God things went the other way. Team, look, I understand there was a pick 6 in there. Great special teams play. 34 points or 34 points. 34-0. Saints are already giving up some of the fewest points per game in terms of how good their defense is. So, look, incredible. I'm extremely impressed with the whole team today. I like a few nitpicky things. I still want to see more from Pete Carmichael in terms of offensive play calling. I still want to see more from Derek Carr on a few of these plays early in the game where he's getting time in the pocket. You might have somebody kind of dialed up deep, and unfortunately it's just a miscue. So I want to see more from that. But overall, let's just hope to see if the Saints can take this momentum and roll it into the next week. Appreciate y'all. Stay safe, be kind to one another as always. Who dat? We dat? Believe that. Be sure to hit that like here on the stream. Hit the sub here on YouTube if you hadn't already. Plenty of content coming to you. Appreciate y'all. Let's get it, baby. That's a huge win.